There has never been anything like this for law enforcement.
And then they said, just do this exercise, just breathe.
After the first couple of hours in there, I said, well, you know what? Maybe these people are onto something.
I liked what I heard. I liked what I saw.
It was like the stress went from here all the way out.
Everybody commented about that.
We're getting classes every single month, 30, 40 officers every month from all the departments within Dade County. My most important thing that I tell them, this is a training completely 100% for them, each individual person. I live cops, I breathe cops, you know, and I'm just telling you, I've never seen people open up like this.
There was something, I guess a number of things that I'd never really dealt with back from Vietnam. This now started to make sense to me. I would get angry, I'd get really angry about some things and really had no idea why at that time. Today, we know it's post-traumatic stress. On a personal level, twin daughters, and my one daughter, Sarah, 17 and a half years old, and I was on a flight coming back from Afghanistan on leave. She committed suicide. I know, I always think of these words in my mind, and it was the I love you I didn't say, and I love you that wasn't heard for her.
My mother-in-law unfortunately came from vacation and just collapsed, ended up in a nursing home. So we handled all of that, took care of all her needs, and then we got 1 week off. And my mother ended up with colon cancer. So I had to handle all of that with my mom. And I didn't know if it was maybe the stress from my mom, when my father started to decline. You still want to be, the person that the department can call on as well. But in the back of your mind, you're saying, oh, you know what, I have my daughter, I have my child, I have my parents that need me.
Everyone knows I'm very strong when it comes to me going through certain situations. I'm very good at pushing through. And I think it's almost my way of pretending like nothing happened, even though like it's there and I know that it happened, but I pushed through. I had recently lost my grandfather. When I went back to work, the first call that I answered was a suicide call. So I go in, the person's laying on the floor and the entire family's there. It was very emotional for me to be there, and that being the first call that I get after having lost my grandfather.
The most memorable calls for me are when I get to help children with special needs. And I can tell you of one recent where we found a 6-year-old boy who was on the autism spectrum. We had to go for blocks knocking door to door in order to find where he lived, and he had been left home alone. I didn't know when he had eaten last or when he had bathed last, so I went to Burger King and bought him a meal. Being able to help the special needs community is very big for me. I have a 21-year-old son who's on the autism spectrum and a 19-year-old daughter who's a cancer survivor. We're all human beings at the end of the day, but we deal with the same stressors that everybody else does, and we still come out here and put our lives on the line for the community every day. So it's very difficult to separate your home life from your work life.
An officer sees in one shift more than a civilian might see in their entire lifetime. And that can sometimes lead to some very negative ways to cope with that. It should be part of an officer's culture to know how to struggle well. Because it's not whether they're going to struggle, it's when they're going to struggle. And so I think struggle well is, for me, it's an answer to prayer, if I could put it that way.